I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see it from a balanced view, right? So if you're someone who kind of like goes, oh, tube drivers are all lazy, da da da, then you're always going to be set in that view. But then on the other hand, if you're the other end of the scale and you're like, you know, they deserve the right to strike all the time and everything's wrong, then I'm trying to find a balancing in the middle. And all I can come up with is basically the fact that I compare it to other jobs, and in the commercial sector, there's redundancies happening all the time. One of the TV companies I work lost a third of their workforce. And I don't see why, when you work for just because it's a public institution, why you should feel you're immune to strikes. And also, this is to save money. It's a public organisation, so that money is going to go back into funding the tube service. It's not profiting any shareholders or any city people. And I'm sure the people who run TfL don't wake up in the morning going, you know, who can we get rid of today, or what can we do to scrimp money? Because if they are scrimping money, they're putting that money back in to improve the tube service.
It's an impressively reasoned argument, and not something I would have expected from you at all. Jo,
yeah,
how do you follow that?
I don't really know.
You don't.
I've got more as well, but...
Well, let's see what the others have got to say first. But have you got any sympathy for the strikers as someone who struggled with buses as a result of the strike today?
Yes, I do, because I think the media are quite anti the strikers, which is a natural thing to be. And I think once you actually go and look and delve a bit deeper, you realise that there's quite a strong argument the other way. There's actually a lot of people who don't think the offices should be shut either. It's not just the people who are striking. They're like, well, I always like to use a ticket office myself, and there's a queue at the ticket office, and you know, foreigners who come here like to use a ticket office. So it's not actually that black and white, I don't think.
And there are some concerns for public safety as well, aren't there?
Are there?
Yes, there are. See, I'm going to see if everyone on the panel can say something sensible tonight.
Concerns for public safety.
Because if the ticket offices aren't open, then there's less official people around to help out should something happen. So,
but there's going to be more on the front line. That's the whole point. The reason the ticket offices are closing is so they bring those staff out onto the...
But if you look at what the RMT have said, one of the things they're worried about is safety. So go figure.
Yeah, in strikes they always say safety, don't they? They always say, oh, safety concerns, and which some of the things I agree with them a lot, where they have strikes in the past. But this one, I think they're just pulling out the safety card, possibly.
The old safety card again.
Yeah, the old safety card. Get it right here.
Here it is.
If you ran the networks, big question, Jo. If you ran the networks, what would you do to solve the dispute?
Well, something I read was that they should go to each station and assess each one and see whether the ticket office needs to be open or not, and then decide through that whether they've got a point or not. That seems a logical idea. Is that sensible enough for you?
Yeah, and they could get to each station on the tube, so they wouldn't have a problem getting there. It's like two birds with one stone.
Or you could drive them in your chipped
I could
alloy
drive my chipped alloy car.
Kayleigh, finally, very quickly, as someone who got a headache because of the buses,
I know.
What's your top tips for coping? What would you have done differently?
Walked. I could have walked it in 50 minutes, and instead it took me like an hour and a half.
Yep, I agree. If you can walk to work tomorrow, do it.